Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we're returning to a Let's Play of War in the East, where we're driving our panzer forces onto Moscow as the Germans. So last time we did do this with this northern group here, the 3rd Panzer Group. We're now going to shift to the pink group, the 4th Panzer Group down here, and we're going to try to drive onto Moscow a little bit here from the south. I suppose we are going to try to cut off all of these units here in these early winterish conditions. We only have very few turns. I'm guessing about 2, maybe 3 turns to take on Moscow itself, so it's really decisive that we do go and advance here very aggressively. So let's see what we can do. Of course we're gonna try and use mostly, at the very least, our infantry forces to conduct any breakthroughs down here, so that we are at least pushing these units away as far as possible, and I'm already wondering whether or not we'll be able to do that to a very large extent. So even these guys down here have troubles advancing far enough. We really did not get enough supplies in the intermediate terms, so in the mod terms that were there for the last couple of turns. So we have a couple of tank forces here, pretty good tank force actually, a couple of infantry units up over here, which apparently don't really get that far. So we could build up a significant strength down here and attack these guys, and I think that might be what we want to do first. So this is one of the most important stumbling blocks. On the other hand, this here of course as well. On the other hand, if we do break these guys, I think we will have an easier time down here. The alternative is up here and try to sort of break through these guys, but again there is a 7 defensive value unit, 6, 5, so I think this is just much more complicated on the one hand, and on the other hand it would be nice to capture them and just encircle them. So yeah, I think going down here is the way to go. So we want to gather at least, I suppose, around 12 to 18 combat strength. We've got 20 combat strength here, so yeah, I think 18 would be very doable. So if we do get the 98th Infantry unit up over here, I think we should be able to do something about this. Let's first try to get a recon mission on these guys up over here. Just two guys, it's fine, and that should increase our knowledge about these guys a little bit. So yeah, that's fine. We have very little knowledge about these guys down here, but I think it's going to be okay. Do we want to bomb these guys? Maybe that's a good decision. Likewise, we could bomb over here. But for now, let's start out with a strike over here. 136 bombers, that's a lot. I've lost about 50 guys and 11 fighters, which I appreciate a lot. So that is nice. Good. And then we can do 2 things. We can do a hasty attack, which I think is going to be what we're doing, so that we have some strength left. Ooh, scouted only. 1 to 5 odds. That's horrible. That's extremely horrible. Okay, let's get serious on this. Okay, let's get all of these guys in here, and what we're going to do is we are going to do a deliberate attack with all of these guys. Deliberate attack, 48,000 men, fort reduced by, yeah, okay, this time we are overkilling them. It's so difficult to judge that sometimes. Scouting, that was pretty pathetic. Okay, so what we need to do then is take you here. Well, maybe this guy has 5 movement points. Okay, you cannot disengage actually. Let's try to get this guy. He cannot disengage either. Damn. How about you? Can you advance here? No, you cannot. How about the SS? You could. Why are you so terrible? Yeah, because you only have very little fuel. Okay, not a great start down here, honestly. You could potentially get up here. Okay, let's get you over there. Let's attack these guys. They should be fairly easy to push back, I would have thought, but we were just able to do so. So at a 2-to-1 ratio, you get them to withdraw. We had a 2.0 advantage, so yeah, that's okay. Right, and then the next field would be here, and we'd be bobbing these guys down there. These have a defensive strength of 3. Okay, how about you guys? I could try to attack these guys. Then we'd be able at least to come over here, beyond the railway line. There's no inherent advantage to that, but wouldn't be worse either. Okay, yeah, let's do attack these guys. Strong enough attack. You have some movement points left, but you could only advance and then not do anything else. And that might actually have been worse, because now they are blocking this way. No, well, it's not actually worse. It's just not any better. Okay, you can come up here and then do an attack. Again, you sort of are coming this way, yeah. So it's nice that we can advance here a little bit more aggressively. But yeah, not that much that we are doing there. Okay. So that means we have to probably bring up the green units here. Oh, is someone of you over there already? Yeah. Yeah, well, if we do want to break through here more aggressively, that's probably what we have to do. Okay. So you are coming here. You are still within this range. You can now attack. You have 9 combat power. That's not actually very bad. And it's actually pretty decent. And then whether we bring you up there or down there is going to remain open for now. You could come here, wouldn't do anything. Really, you'd be the one that I would like to move up there. You're actually fairly good, so I don't want to waste you. On the other hand, you're really the worst of our units. Of our fast units, at least. How about you? Can you get up here? Yeah, you could, but not without... Okay, so, yeah. Let's not overthink this. Let's bring you here, and these two guys are gonna attack here. It's gonna be overwhelming them completely, so we would really not have had to think quite as much. Still, that's okay. Let's bring in our SS unit here a little bit, like towards here, I suppose. Try to drive them away. Yeah, very barely. It's so difficult to judge that. Right, and then we want to come here and drive straight onto Moscow that way, I think. Right. You're utterly unable to come anywhere here. Well, we do have other tanks. So you have 40... Yeah, I think you are the sort of weakest link. If you're up there, would be a bad idea. But primarily I want to bob these two guys and then circle north. And again, this here would be a tempting target as well. So let's drive here. Let's kick these guys out of our way. Really not that difficult to target. Basically these guys are only providing some small fortifications. So it's fairly easy to kick them out of the way. And that's fine. Right, and again this railway line would be so lovely, but they are so strong in defending there, so I think we actually have to advance onto this guy and circle around there. Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Okay, so let's come up here. Let's do an attack here. Good enough to attack them. Some people are evacuating. It's not the worst. Right, okay. Could come here, circle them backwards. Could come there, basically kick out these guys. No, that's fine, good. Let's bring up more tanks then. 16, 12, really, it would be tempting to attack here. You again could only sort of guard our rear lines. You cannot advance anywhere, you cannot advance anywhere. Can you even advance here? At least one of you, like you. Yeah, okay, we can bring you back here, so that at least we'll not be overrun. How about you? Yeah, only advance into the zone of control, but not further. Another tank up here, a tank up here and there. I think you are the weakest. This is tempting. Also tempting to try and and really close up this gap. So let's come here first. If you were here, all of these guys would be out of supply. But yeah, we do need to kill one of these units, and I think we'll not be able to take on this one. So the big question is, do we want to attack here and try to encircle all of them? And the answer to that, I think, is yes, because just getting rid of that many units is definitely going to be extremely helpful for us. So you could come there. How about you? 5, 5, 2. You couldn't. You could come here. That might be good enough. I think we need the 5er unit because none of these guys here will be able to close the gap really. And if we do want to entrap them, then I think that's what we need to do. Okay, let's bring the weaker tank unit here. Attack the fortification, drive them back. That's fairly fantastic. Lost at least a couple of tanks there, which is of course not that great. And now you cannot advance further there. That's unfortunate. How about you now? Can you get anywhere closer to these guys? Well, you could come there. But again, this gap here is just too wide. This is not enough to keep them boxed in. So in fact, what we probably do need to do is move one of you guys here. That's unfortunate, but I think it's what we need to do. Could also move you here. And move this guy there. Would only be one gap then. Well, you probably... sending you here will not convert this field. You cannot move up anywhere. You cannot. I don't actually know why, but I think over here we'd be a little bit safer. Yeah, okay, let's get over here. That's alright, good. Any of you can advance? No, no. So that means we are pretty much down to this single unit here. And at this point we actually need to start thinking about how we can box them in and secure our supply lines. So I think the first thing to do here is send you here so that you that these guys are in zone of control, and they need a couple of more movement points just to break off from you. And that should be okay. Would be great if you could advance at least there. Can advance down there, which is also okay. Bring this unit onto this railway line and in contact with these guys so that they will have a harder time withdrawing. Likewise, you're going to move up. And then over here, this guy might actually come there. No, not possible. You have some movement points left. No unit here really, just these guys. And I think we are going to bring you here. So that you're not actually in contact with the enemy, but that you can advance further next turn. Yeah, and there are a lot of gaps here. They might well come into here. So I'm tempted to, well, we could come here and then I think should stop them from advancing too far. So let's do that. A little bit of a checkerboard pattern here. I don't think they'll be able to really come through here via the zone of control of all of these guys. Big question is, can we advance into here and attack these guys? And I suppose the answer is pretty much no, because we're just too far away. This is the 4th Panzer Group itself. I think we can, for now at least, bring you into this city. I think that's okay. Then we have this Panzer Corps. You have 3 units. I only see 2 for now. Let's bring you here. Into this field itself. And where is your other unit? There too. Oh, it's over here. Well, should be in range, so that's nice. Okay, and you have got what? These 3 guys? Yeah, pretty much. I don't want to move you too far away from the railway line, but on the other hand I want to be able to supply this guy. Yeah, I think this is the furthest we can go and still be able to receive supply. Okay, so that's great. You guys, that's just these two units. Let's move you up here so that you are on supply. That's great. And then we've got all of these green units. Are we comfortable with this situation? I think so. Yeah, I think that's okay. And let's bring up the motorized brigade here over there as well. That should be nice. What have we got down here? Oh, we've got another green unit that I completely forgot about. Oh, god damn it. If we had moved you here, we would have been one army stronger down here. And that might have been enough to take these guys out. So that is actually very unfortunate. And this is your headquarters, so I want to move you close to that as possible. If we do go over here, I think these guys will have trouble advancing from where they are now. On the other hand, if we just go there, that might also be fine. Yeah, let's bring you here. I think that's okay. Good. Right. A little bit sad there. We do need to guard this field here with some security units. I think we are starting to run a little bit low on security units. And wait a minute. On Smolensk. Smolensk is light city? Light urban. This here is a city. Do we have another large urban area? No, I think we do need both of these units here. But this area also, it's starting to look a little bit vulnerable there. Right. Can I get you to move backwards? I could. No point in that really though. If we move the headquarters, you might be able to move into there, but no, I think that's a minimal gain there. How about you? Is it just normal construction battalions? Right, so basically we could pull you back, but on the other hand you are holding this line for now, so I don't think we should really be doing that. That means we have to think about these green units here. Basically, I want to bring onto Moscow itself. And then we do need someone to pop these guys. But you have all of these engineers and all of these fortification reduction units. How are the fortifications actually looking? So there's a strong fortification there. There is strong fortification going on around Moscow itself. So it wouldn't be worse, a terrible idea at least, to try to bring you here in the southerly direction. This headquarter there is a little bit of an issue, but we can move this unit here, and potentially move this headquarter here. It's one tile further. That allows us to bring these guys here. That's fantastic. This core, let's move it here. You've got 3 units, these 2 and this one. Issue is we don't really have a place to put you. Could put you into contact as well. Not my preferred way of doing things. How about you? Your units are these 2. Okay, well, I suppose what we need to do is bring you here. Right, this is the Panzer Group itself, this is the airfield of the Panzer Group. Have you actually flown any missions? You don't seem to have flown any missions. Okay, let's bring into these light woods. I think you can start from there, so that's not an issue. Fine, all of these tiles look good. Situation down here is decent enough, I would say. Could even try to break off one of these units. If we get you here, this would be a zone of control river. That means we could be able to move at least one of these units up here a little bit. Get you over there. Yeah, I think that would be okay. Don't really want to move into the swarm packs. So you've got these 4 units actually. The swarm packs wouldn't be the worst. Okay, let's bring you into contact. That's fine then. I think we're going to keep you where you are. and you can come over there, and I don't think that they are going to try to cross there. So that should be okay. Yeah, good. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with the situation up there. Then the big question is, will we be able to do anything? Should we pull these guys back? I'm not sure. There is going to be some supply issues there. We definitely are not able to supply this. Question is, how do we want to move up our supplies? And I'm tempted, so we are building up a railroad over here. I'm tempted to leave this railroad be and use this southerly one. It does mean we need to bob all of these guys here, ultimately. But it would allow us a little bit more flexibility, I think. Although this one surely is the shorter route. This is just a very few hexes, and we might be able to take care of all of these guys soon. On the other hand, if we do get over there, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Okay, let's park this question for now and see what the Scion troops are going to do. Because if they do come up towards over here, then maybe it is worthwhile to go down to Kaluga and try to cut them off. Speaking of cutting off, you could move there. Although, well, it would be so great to kick these guys out of there. But I just don't see us being able to do that. So probably that's a no. And we should also move up the headquarter unit here for the Green Air Force. Let's move it up all the way over there. I think that's fine. And likewise the one for the green, for the dark green units. And you could probably come up a little bit as well. Bring you here. I think that's going to be fine. You can stay back a little bit. All of the other guys can stay back a little bit. Good, so that does leave us with the Scion units and our... So, whoop, let me just zoom out a little bit and try to get his to center correctly. So we've got all of these units down here. These are mostly tank units. They are a little bit low on fuel yet because they are too far away from what has historically been our supply line. On the other hand, what I would really like to do is cut these guys here off from supply. Although for now they will be able to supply it via this field. And I kind of doubt whether we'll be able to go all this way over here. Thing is, if we break through comparatively few units over here, we can get back here, attack these airfields, where there's a couple of modern fighters. This airfield here is slightly older fighters. Even a 153, well 153s are very, very old units. So still, if we kick out these 3 units, we'd be able to advance here and just strike very deep without doing really much damage on the units themselves, except for endangering their supply position. And that, I think, would not be the worst idea for us at this very moment. And again, if we are threatening Kaluga, that would also be not too bad. Let me actually try to pull up the victory screen. Yeah, there are some victory points for that. That's a 250 point difference for us. If we do get that. Tula, I have no intention of taking. That is, I think, just way too far into their lines. But just getting over here would also be nice because we would potentially be able to just continue our advance sort of in this direction along this Oka River. On the northern side, maybe try to really threaten Moscow a little bit more, and in the process endanger all of these units of being out of supply. So yeah, I think that's actually what we want to do then, and just try to strike through there. Question is, what units do we have here that could potentially do that? Also, have we enough intelligence on all of these guys? Actually, not really. So let's try to conduct a strike over here. Trying to intercept us, not really successful, so I think that's okay. Do we have more information now? Come on. It's a 7, 7, 10. 10 is good. It's a 0 still here. I think what we can also do is conduct an airfield strike here. Can I not do that? Bomb airfield. I'm not able to do that. Come on. This field. Weird. Okay, so we're not able to do that. Fine, fine. I don't care. Didn't intend to do it anyway. That's a lie. Okay. Right, so down here, I think the defensive position is okay. We probably need to pull this guy back a little bit though, so he cannot be overwhelmed by any of these tanks. It's a lot of tanks, but they're mostly fairly weak. So they've been split up and everything. That really does leave... And I suppose we can move you here. Add a little bit more oomph to this attack. Okay, let's get you over here. Let's take only one unit, this one over here, and attack here. It's a 4-to-1 advantage, it should work. And it does, so that's nice. Good. That means we can now take this unit, actually advance it a little bit more. I think this would be a fairly good position. Right, let's get here. Let's attack these guys. Not enough. But at least we disturbed their position, so that is good as well. I think this is looking a little bit tenuous. The gaps here are starting to look a little bit too much for my taste. It's good that we are holding this town, but we do need to be careful to not overextend ourselves. So in fact, I think we want to pull back here. Just the access to the town must be protected at all costs. Do we have any infantry units in this tank group? I don't think so. So that's okay. I think we probably also want to attack here so that we can get these guys here out of contact with this infantry division. Yeah, that's nice. It might allow us to actually push up one of these units. Or at least maybe even the blue units that are a little bit out of position actually. So you are part of a group down here. I think we do need to bring one of you into... What are we going to do with this cavalry brigade? Probably want to move you into a city soon. Well, if we move you down here, I think they will be sufficiently unable to advance. Now we probably do need to move you here. Then it all starts to be a little bit awkward. It's a very thin line that we are taking up here. You know what? I think the cavalry there is fine, and then we can move this guy here. This guy we can probably move all the way down here. Yeah, this is a fairly aggressive approach, but I think it's worthwhile taking. Or not. Do we want to keep some combat power up here? Okay, let's keep a little bit here. I think that's fine. And then the cavalry can come down later on. Okay. Yeah, we're a bit more conservative, but you know what? I think that's the better idea here. Good. Let's bring you here, and then you can try to attack this gentleman. Although we still do need to attack this guy here as well to really be able to break through. And that's probably the bottleneck actually, so yeah, I think this is okay. 8 against 4, that's not a good ratio. Could bring you here. It's not ideal, but I think we'll be fine. So let's attack here with a deliberate attack. It's going to use up a lot of armor, and it's total overkill. Right, and now we have 0 movement points with these guys basically. But you know what, that's okay. Okay, so bring in more infantry. Anywhere? Really? Okay, do we have more infantry forces here? It becomes a tiny bit hard to see with all of these guys being active over there. So bring you here, and I only would like you to attack these guys. They should be easy to breach. They are fantastic. Good result there. Can come up, but wouldn't be able to attack. So that's not really that useful for me. Let's bring you up here then. And where do we want to attack? These guys or these guys? Well, these guys are clearly in the way. Semi-good result there. Can also attack here. Good result there. Fantastic. So at least we have opened up this way a little bit. Right, so can we now advance here? Come on, only you. You'd be able to block them from sort of flanking us. And we've got these light blue forces. Where are the other ones? One's over there. Why are you red? I don't understand. Are you selected? Okay, let's get it here. And let's use these forces to attack these tanks. They have been back once. So it should be easy to turn them back twice, but there are some issues with that because now they are pretty badly out of position. Okay, anyway, you are guarding, you're commanding all of these units. You're doing fine where you are. How about you over here? You've got all of these units down there. I suppose we can move you a little bit closer here. Let's move you here. I think that's fine. How about you? You have a couple of units there and there, so 2 basically. I think you are more or less fine where you are. Let's bully you back into this little town. I think that does make sense for command perspective. Again, this infantry here. Let's do move you up here so that you are in zone of control and this place here is in zone of control as well. And we need to push up into this area here, and I suppose this motorized division here is fairly weak. So we can probably send you there. These are just old fighters mostly. Capturing a bit of supply and fuel. Fuel is great for us. Let's try to attack here. Ah, just barely not enough to kick them out. That's a bit unfortunate. Let's try to attack again. No. Do we want to attack again? I don't think so. I think we want to use a little bit stronger force there too. What have we got that has not that many movement points? You don't really. We don't have that much infantry left anyway, so we do need to guard our rear. So let's bring up these 2 guys. Only the tanks are going to attack the tanks. There we go. Fantastic result. All of you routed. Only the tanks are going to advance here, hopefully catching some supplies. Before we do that, I do want to try another time here to do an attack on these air bases. And it just doesn't register. I really don't know why. Okay, fine. Then we're just gonna advance like that. Capturing a little bit of fuel, a lot of fuel. Yeah, that's fantastic. Good, very good actually. So you could advance here, you could go there as well. How about you? Can you safeguard this area? You cannot. We could also strike into this area here to box them in a little bit here in the northern area. Although that's maybe a little bit distracting from our actual goal. On the other hand, there's a rifle division here. Okay, so we cannot kick them back. Only the 5th Army here would be able to be stricken. And these guys, mostly bombers, a couple of Hurricanes, heavy fighters, PE2s. So I'm a little bit torn. How thinly do we want to spread ourselves out there? And 36 movement points. You wouldn't really be able to go that far here. And again, we don't really want to attack these guys, so this is basically where we do need to go. So let's send you here first. Fairly weak unit there. And then let's see how far we can get with our tanks. Well, at least a little bit. We are able to cut some progress into here. So ultimately that's fairly nice actually. How about you? You have some decent movement points, and I think that's probably the furthest that we can go. It's nice because we are cutting another railway line, although it's not decisive. At least it's good to cut this railway line, I believe. Or would also be nice to come up here in the north. If we were to get over here though, we would be cutting their railway line completely, so I think that's actually what we might want to do there. Firstly kick back all of these guys. That's a lot of units there as well. Can we do an air attack? We cannot. Okay, fine, I don't know why. I'll have to look up the rules. But yeah, so I think we are gathering some of our units and now gonna strike through the little gap that we made here. While hopefully not overextending ourselves too badly. I think we also need to keep an eye on the supply situation down here. And you can probably also advance to the north, at least provide a little bit more defensive value there. And then we'll be able to sort of get ourselves a little bit ahead here. And do a little bit. You do need to withdraw, I think that's what you're telling me. Okay, let's get you a little bit, I think over here is fine. Yeah, I think that's what you wanted to tell me. Okay, fine. We have a couple of motorized divisions, a couple of tanks, and then we're gonna see how far we can. But that's gonna have to wait until next time because we are way over time already again. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I do see you again next time. Do leave a like and all of that, and let me know what you think about our plan to advance on Moscow. Are we gonna get it? Are we not gonna? I think it's gonna be tough. But let's see. I still hope. So thank you very much for watching, guys. See you next time.